Go.
Hello, this is Gene and Jim again. It's June 19th, about 2:15, and today started out unexpectedly in the sense we were starting phase 2 of our project by opening up one of the houses, the Mason bee houses at Jim's location, because we observed some parasites or ants of some kind. So we went to the process of opening that up. Much to our surprise, there were no mason bee cocoons at all. What appeared to be leafcutter habitats. So, just to continue our experiment today and get as much work done as possible, we've taken one of the laminates, one of the houses from my location, which is several hundred yards from Jim's house, but basically all the other factors are the same: temperature, elevation, that type of thing, orientation. So we're going to open this up because this does have some good plugged holes. If we see some mason bee cocoons, obviously we'll recognize it. If not, if we get the same result as we did from opening the other house, that may change the scope of our research project in terms of adding leafcutter research being done down here at a lower, hotter elevation. So we're going to do that right now. We'll take just a moment to remove the straps. Okay. Now, the good thing for us is the very first level has some filled holes. So let's see, this is going to be a surprise for everybody. Opening it up. Now this is different. Although there are no cocoons observed here, we don't see the other material which look like leafcutter material. So we're going to open up a few more of these the same way we did before. Excuse me, we're going to use my little tool wherever I put that. There we go. And we're going to carefully
Here?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Right. We're going to carefully, again, using a tool at a 45-degree angle, just carefully open this up because there may be some good cocoons in here, which I hope there are. And clean this one out, just like that. Some materials there that are of interest, and we'll put that one there. And we'll take the next level. And sometimes you have to work these a little bit, like that. And clean this off. A little bit of work. Getting exercise for the day. We'll flip this over and see what we got. We have some more. Now these do not look like what we saw over at Site1a's property. These look more like blue orchid bee cocoons. But we don't know for sure. We have another one. Take this one off. I haven't yet seen a viable cocoon. So we're going to have to investigate that a little closer. There are materials here. Some of those little single mom bees, they've been doing something here. I should know what that yellow stuff is. I believe it's pollen. Come down over the time. There. There's obviously been a lot more activity with a certain type of bee over at my property than at Jim's property. Just different activity. Next level.
Nothing.
That's clean. And it looks like maybe there's a little spider thing there, but it's okay. Again, you gotta be careful lifting these things up because they can get the sticky. One thing to add, and this will be in our report, these houses right here were removed from the environment on June 5th. The temperature was in the 70s in the morning when I removed them. They got into the low 100s in the afternoon, but by then they were in my refrigerator. But all kinds of questions about this. I mean, should we have harvested these sooner? Would there have been bees in here? Bee cocoons? I don't know. But we'll do the research to find out. That's what this is all about. There are materials in here. I just hope they're not fly orchard bees. It's starting to get pretty hot here. Although we've had a very mild winter. It's been a very nice summer so far. Yeah. We had kind of a normal winter, I guess, per se. Some other materials on those. I don't know what they are.
Now, one thing that's interesting, Gene, is that we had been, for our metrics, we'd been keeping track of, quote, filled tubes. It turns out a lot of these tubes are partially filled, and you wouldn't really be able to see it with the naked eye. If we used our borescope, we might have seen these partially filled ones. And so that's an interesting metric that we're going to have to decide on how to keep track of, you know, what results we actually got.
That's a very good observation, Jim, because even with our little tools, it's hard to tell if they're full or not.
Yeah, because if you remember our metrics that are currently on the website, we only take credit for 10 tubes that have been filled, mason bee tubes. So
now here are some bees. They don't look alive, but these are definitely bees. These are about 2/3 of the way down. Mm-hmm. And as Jim again noted, the tubes are not full.
They're partially full.
Partially full.
So,
but we need to invent these. They may be mason bees. We'll have to see. Mm-hmm. Be very careful with those. And, just continue cleaning this out. I guess I'm not getting some of the stuff is just nasty material. James, you want to take over? I'm beat.
I can do it.
Push down. Yeah. This little guy is. I tell you what. Whoever that was, they wanted to stay in there.
Yeah.
Clean that out a little bit more. We're almost done, folks. But this is important to the study. Jim and I didn't expect this today, but we found some interesting things. Now we need to find out what those things are.
Okay, so that's the contents of Site1a1a, the first one we set up. So let's do a closer examination of what's actually in this set of materials.
Well, we have our magnifying glass out and we're taking a closer look. There are actually quite a few bees in terms of total content. A lot of pollen. I don't immediately see anything, maybe some mites. Unfortunately, all the bees that we're observing so far appear to be dead. Or maybe not. Maybe they're just in hibernation. I don't know. That's
and also there does not appear to be any cocoons.
Right. It's as if they emerged early.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take some samples. We're going to keep all this material, obviously. We're going to sort out the bees and do a little research, maybe talk to some of our colleagues at the OBA and get their thoughts on this. And we'll continue to our next report. Thank you.